Welcome back, YouTube. I'm Hunter.
I'm Stefan.
We're the Dirt Nap Bros, and today, in the spirit of the upcoming turkey season, we're talking turkey calls.
All right, so we're going to go into, before we get into actual like the ones that like the hen calls, box calls, whatnot. We're going to do locator calls first. So
Real quick, if you're not familiar with what a locator call is, or if you're new to turkey hunting, early morning, late evening, turkeys are still in the roost, especially males. If you get out and you make a couple of calls, depending on the time, you could get what's called a shock gobble. It's that it just shocks their system and they let off a very, very loud gobble.
yeah,
So there's basically two popular methods to do that.
yep, and it's also why they're called thunder chickens. All right, so the first one, we have a crow call here. This is called the hammering call. I think I got this maybe for $10, $15, I think, off of Amazon. But yeah, it just sounds like a simple crow. And yep, you hit that out, and you can get more aggressive with it if they don't want to gobble, and maybe they want to gobble, and you can locate them. The second locator call we have is an owl call. It's just a regular owl call. You just cup it, and if you're in luck, maybe they'll gobble, and you can get on some turkeys.
So I got my crow call at, I think, Field and Stream for like $4. I have yet to get an owl call, but see if the wife approves that. The next couple of calls we're going to go over are actual turkey calls. So there's several different. There's a box call, which you see here and here. There are diaphragm calls, which you see here. Then we have our pot calls, and
We have the wing bone call.
so we'll start with probably the easiest and simplest and work our way up to what's harder to use.
Yeah, I could do that because I have my opinion on what's easier now after
Okay.
getting the wing bone call.
All right.
So what do you think? What do you feel like is the easiest? For
I
you?
feel like the box call is the easiest. So this box call was made by my wife and kids. I have a couple of them now, thanks to them. Hey, cat, no, go, get. I have a couple of these box calls now, thanks to wife and kids. They made these at the Dixie Deer Classic in Raleigh, and these are, in my opinion, the simplest because it's literally like a, I don't know, kind of,
It's chalk, yeah.
yeah, it's chalked and it's got like this like rounded off edge to it. A curved, thank you. It's got a curved edge to it and it's chalked, and then you just strike it against this sharp edge here, and you get a. I mean, I think they're the simplest either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got these at the what was it? The National Turkey Wildlife Federation booth. They're just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep.
And they had one of the guys there walk us, our kids, how to make it, and they sound amazing, and they were free.
How does you have the Undertaker from Strut?
From HS.
HS?
Hunter Specialties.
Okay.
So this is the Undertaker. Yep, so same thing. This one has slate on it, and you can still chalk it. And the same thing, just you can do your chirps, and you can really get on it. But I do like the box calls because they really send that sound out far.
Got a real sharp
Yeah,
sound that just
yep.
moves. Yeah. So what do you think is the next in evolution? You think it's the pot?
I think the pots. I mean, so when I first started turkey hunting, I thought the box call would be the easiest call to master, and that's why I got one. And then I also picked up a pot call later on, which I think we should go into. The pot calls. Let's go to pot calls now.
Go to pot calls.
So yeah, we have two styles here. We have yours is the glass one, right?
Yeah, so I have the crystal over slate.
Yep.
And you have a slate.
Straight slate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a straight slate last year. Like an idiot, had it in my bag, came home, was unloading the truck and dropped the bag on the ground and it broke. And so now his, if you shake it, it makes no noise. Mine, when I shake it, it makes like a really loud clonk, clonk, clonk. So this year I replaced it with the crystal overslate. So these vary in price depending on what you want. You can get a pot call from probably $10. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
probably.
about $10, all the way up to a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to never think that there was a difference in the sound quality, but this pot call that I have here, so this is the Meat Eater X crystal over slate, and I paid just at $80 for this thing. And I'll tell you what, it sounds amazing. So pot calls are pretty easy to use, but there is kind of a learning curve because you got to learn how to condition it.
Yep.
So the crystal came with a stone that you got to scratch up an area on the pot call that you strike. And yours came with just like a scouring pad,
Yep.
like almost
It's
a Brillo pad?
literally just a Brillo pad. And you just scour it up, and you're good to go. So I think with these two, that's another thing. Key thing with these two is you want to avoid putting your fingers and getting your oils on top of these slate or on these glasses, or else you won't get the right sound out of it. It'll actually ruin the slate.
Yeah.
But not a big deal. So if you let's say you have kids, and your kids run in your room and they grab your pot call, put your fingers all over it, just get some alcohol, put it on there. You'll dry that oil up and just do a Brillo pad on it, and it'll fix it right back up.
Yep, just recondition. And then, so in order to use these, you basically, you make this shape with your hand and sit in there. You don't want it laying flat on your palm. I don't know if you guys can see that. Lay it flat on your palm, because when you do that, it will muffle the sound. On the back of each one of these, you want to show the back of that one? On the back of each one of these, there are like these little holes in different shapes and locations, whatever. This is actually what projects the sound. Not this, it's this, right? So when you do this, you want to cup it in your hand, make sure you got some space in there, and you basically want to take your striker and rest your fingers kind of on top of your other fingers, and depending on the motion that you make will depend on the call. Mm-hmm. So you can make a yelp, you can make a purr, and you can do a cluck.
Yep.
That's the crystal over slate.
And then same thing with the slate. Same thing. I do think that the crystal over slate does sound better. It's not as raspy as the pure slate.
So now I think the next call that we'll quickly talk about, I'm going to diaphragm.
Yeah, let's do diaphragm.
All right, we'll go diaphragm. So these are diaphragm calls. So basically what you have here is like almost like a piece of medical grade tape that is covering a piece of metal, and in between that are these two, like, what do you think that is? Like plastic-ish?
Yeah, a little plastic.
Like real thin plastic
Like latex,
sheets.
maybe?
Yeah, latex almost. And so what you do is you put this in your mouth, and this way. And as you blow, the air moving over your mouth makes these vibrate and make noise. And so I have two different. So I have this one which has a raspier sound to it, and this one which has kind of a more hennish sound to it. So I'll start with this one and I'll blow the other one. But in order to do this, put it in your mouth, take your tongue and you stick it to the roof of your mouth and you hold it and you kind of blow. That's the first step in making sound with these. You go. So that's how you make sound. Roof of the mouth, gently blow. Okay? Now the next step is to make it sound like a turkey. So you saw what we talked about with the pot calls is different sounds make the way you move the striker makes different sounds. And on these pot calls, you can make a purr, you cluck, right? Just by moving it back and forth. With these, it's all about your mouth. So I blow and then I drop my jaw and I'll make a cluck. And I'm not going to spend all day going into all these, but there's a lot of really good videos on how to do this. So I'll just make a couple sounds and then we can move on to honestly what I think is one of the best looking calls on the table. So that one's got a little more of a raspier sound. This one has more of a crisper sound. Those are diaphragm calls. So next call we'll talk about is very pretty.
Yep, so the wing bone call. This is probably like one of the oldest style of turkey calls, I think, out there.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it dates back, but I'm pretty sure it dates back quite a ways. So this is basically just made out of turkey wing bones, and this is a hybrid one. So this is turkey wing bones into a deer antler. So I really wanted a wing bone call just because of the tradition about it, and I started looking around and I found one, and it sounds amazing. So to use this one, all you do is just put it, so you have this little kisser right here. You don't want this whole bone going straight into your mouth. You want it barely on the inside edge of your lips. And then all you do is you just make it like you're kissing your wife. You make a little kissy sound, and that's how it produces a sound out of the call. And then additionally with that, when you cup these, so you cup it towards the end, you put a couple fingers just right over the end of the call, put it in the edge of your mouth, and you want to get a real good seal. And all you do is just act like you're kissing your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, and it makes, I think, a really good sounding turkey call.
That thing is pretty. And so you got that from?
So I got this from Stone Creek Game Calls, and the craftsmanship is amazing. The guy, I mean, I'm pretty sure he works with the National Wildlife Turkey Federation, and he makes these calls out of his house out in Georgia.
It is pretty as hell. It is very pretty. So calls come from, we'll put a link to the Stone Creek Game Calls down in the description. Please make sure you go and give him some love and purchase a call or two. These things are awesome. And that one, you purchased it for how much?
So this one is $50. He has different styles. They're all different styles. He makes different deer antlers, but they're all traditional wing bone calls with turkey bones going down. He also does locator calls for crows. He does predator calls. He does it all.
Nice. And I mean, this thing, guys, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. So go give him some shout out. It is, or some love. It is worth every penny of that $50 for that.
Yep.
That's all we have for turkey calls at the moment. The next big thing that we have coming is some merch. So we just picked up some slaps. Looks like we're probably going to have some hats coming, maybe some t-shirts in the near future. We'll be setting up a Venmo and posting a link. If you'd like one of these awesome slaps, hit us up and let us know.
Comment below if you want some.
Comment below. Remember, like, subscribe, and even if you don't watch our videos, we don't care. Still like and subscribe. That's all I ask.
And then if you're sitting on your couch, you can't be dishing out dirt gnats.
That's right.